You know, guys, every time when I read something about these VAT hikes, I just cannot believe how easy it is to lie to some of these political leaders. I just cannot believe how easily manipulated some of these political leaders are and how gullible these people are. Because when it comes to this topic, the ANC has actually exposed that these people are not as intelligent as people thought. You look at people like Mane, Mashaba, Zibi. Out of all the political leaders in the country, people never thought that the ANC would get support from these people. People never thought that these political leaders would actually go into parliament to help the ANC to get the fiscal framework that consists of 0.5 VAT hike over the line in parliament. And this is what these political leaders did. And they believe that the people of this country are stupid. And this is one thing that actually frustrates me, is that whenever you listen to these people speak, they actually believe, they honestly, deep down in their hearts, they believe that South Africans are stupid. Because they go into parliament to help the ANC to get the fiscal framework that has 0.5 VAT hikes over the line in parliament. And when they come out in parliament, they say that, guys, just listen to us. Just listen to us. We voted for the VAT hikes, but that VAT hike is not going to come into an effect because in 30 days, the ANC finance minister, Ino Godongwana, is going to come back with a revised budget that does not have a VAT hike. And this is what these people actually expect the South Africans to believe, despite the people saying that, guys, there is absolutely no way that the VAT hike can be reversed in 30 days. It doesn't make any sense and it is not practical. But these people went on television, they went on radio, on newspapers, doubling down on what they said. Doubling down on what they said, that there won't be any VAT hike coming the 1st of May. This is what the people said. And for the past couple of weeks, these people have been talking about the submissions that they've made to the ANC, that we have made submissions to the ANC and we have proposed to the ANC that these are the things that we should cut, and if we could cut these things, there won't be need for a VAT hike. You remember Mashaba, Mane coming out and saying that we have actually submitted the proposals to the ANC and showed the ANC how they can save 100 billion rands if only they could cut 1, 2, 3. And these people forget that the ANC told them that we don't believe in cutting. We do not believe in cutting. The DA proposed what they proposed long time ago. They proposed what these people proposed a long time ago. And Fikile Mbalula went out and said that no, the DA says we must cut, and we do not believe in cutting. You remember a couple of days ago, I did an update about what the president said about deputy ministers. The president said, I am not going to get rid of the deputy ministers. I'm not going to do that. And this is one of the things that has been suggested by these political leaders, that we need to get rid of these deputy ministers because we do not understand the value of these people. And the president said no. The president said no, despite the people saying that, Ramaphosa, let's be honest, my guy, you have a bloated cabinet. You have a bloated cabinet and maybe you should trim it down. And we believe that if you could trim it down and cut some of these pegs, there's a lot of money that you can save. Couple of days ago, the president came out and said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to touch my cabinet. My cabinet is okay the way that it is. So the ANC basically came with a plan to make these people feel better because they could see the backlash that these people were facing. They could see what the people were saying about what they did. So a couple of days ago, there's an article that came out, and this article says that the ANC is said to withdraw plans to raise VAT by 0.5 percentage points. And this news was celebrated by some of these political parties. I remember on social media, I saw him and Mashaba saying, guys, we told you that there won't be any VAT hikes, and just clap hands for ActionSA because ActionSA has successfully stopped the VAT hikes. And I am not paraphrasing, I am saying exactly what ActionSA said, that there won't be any VAT hikes thanks to ActionSA. And when the ANC came in social media and said, we are planning to withdraw this 0.5 VAT hikes, these people celebrated. They celebrated and said, yes, finally the ANC is considering our submissions. The ANC is taking us seriously. And still, the public said, guys, the ANC is fooling you. How can you guys not see what the ANC is doing to you? But they said, no, the ANC is taking us seriously. The ANC is a serious political party, man. We love the ANC. The ANC has been very helpful to the people of this country for the past 30 years. We love the work of the ANC, and we believe that the ANC, it is a political party that actually believes in its own weight. So so while these people were actually celebrating, the news came in yesterday. So the ANC finance minister comes out and says that I do not see any alternatives to the VAT increase. What does it say? It means that when the ANC said we are planning to withdraw this VAT hike of 0.5 percentage point, they were lying. They were lying, and they were actually trying to make the likes of him and Mashaba to feel better about the decisions that they have made. But right now, the ANC is starting to realize that, nah, man, time is TikTok. Time is going, and we have to be honest with the people of this country. So, Godongwana says, I do not see any alternatives to the VAT increase. So it means that these people are not even going to take in consideration the proposals that they were made by these political parties. They are not even going to take them into consideration. Because Godongwana says that if I had alternatives to the 0.5, I would be second guessing my fiscal framework. If I had alternatives to the 0.5 VAT hikes, I would be second guessing my fiscal framework. So they are basically telling you that the VAT hike, it is going to come into an effect on the 1st of May. And the people can attest to this by the messages that they got from their insurances, from their premiums, from the DSTV, from everywhere. We got the messages left, right, and center telling us that, no, guys, you are going to pay more from the 1st of May. But these people, they said, no, there's absolutely no way that you South Africans are going to pay. South Africans are not going to pay more. South Africans are not going to pay more. And right now, the ANC finance minister is saying that, guys, there is absolutely no way. I don't see any alternatives. So saying that he does not see any alternatives, it means that he is not going to take into consideration the proposals that were made by these political parties. So the article continues to say that the South African finance minister, Godongwana, sees no alternatives to the tax increase at the heart of the budget impasse that is threatening to unravel the country's governing coalition. The Democratic Alliance, the second largest political party in the GNU after Godongwana's ANC, opposed a 0.5 percentage point hike in the value-added tax to 15.5, and it has filed a lawsuit to block its implementation. So the DA, you remember that the DA and the EFF, they said that, no, man, we are taking this thing to the court. We are taking this thing to the court, man. We don't think that South Africans should actually pay more. We don't believe that South Africans should pay more, so we are taking this thing to the court. So right now, the same political parties that actually tried to stab the DA at the back, they are hoping that the DA wins this court case, because if the DA does not win this court case, it means that it is over with them. It is over with them. And you look at a political party like ActionSA. ActionSA has actually allowed their hate for the ANC to actually put them in a very difficult spot. If ActionSA didn't hate the DA so much, they would not be in such a spot that they are. So Godongwana says that if I had alternatives to the 0.5, I would be second guessing my fiscal framework. The minister told the local broadcaster ENCA on Wednesday, referring to the legislation the DA voted against on April the 2nd. Quote, I presented a fiscal framework and I am confident that I would not have presented it if I had alternatives. The DA's stance prompted the ANC to enlist the support of the parties outside of the coalition to get the bill, the first of several needed to implement the budget passed by Parliament. So, in this topic, they are going to talk about the investors' worry. The objection of the business-friendly DA has called the survival of the GNU into question, pressuring the rand as investors assess whether the departure from the coalition would open doors to the left-leaning economic freedom fighters to enter government. So far, it's not backing down. No headway was made during weekend talks between the ANC and the DA, which is going ahead with its court challenges on April the 22nd. Quote, "We will be in court on Tuesday," said DA spokesperson Karabo Khakau. Quote, "The DA has not made a decision whether to leave or remain in the GNU. We await a report back from the ANC and the outcome of the case." ANC spokesperson Mahlengi Bengumutsiri said Godongwana would update the party's leadership in upcoming days. Scrapping the VAT increase would leave a 13.5 billion gap in the budget. 3 ANC insiders familiar with the talks said the National Treasury has found no other ways of raising the money. And guys, you see what they are saying? The National Treasury has found no way to raise the money. You remember who said this? I think it was 2 weeks back. It was the president of the country. Cyril Ramaphosa. You remember during that day when he was, I don't know if he was playing golf or what, when he said that we are taking into considerations the proposals of these political parties. But right now, the National Treasury is saying that, no, man, they don't see other way of raising the money. But, we are taking into consideration the proposals that were made by these political parties that actually helped us to get the fiscal framework over the line. The ANC keeps telling these people what they are going to do. The ANC keeps telling these people what they believe in. But for some reason, they do not believe what the ANC is saying. They don't believe what the ANC is saying. The ANC told them that we don't believe in cutting. And these people are submitting the proposals, showing the ANC what they can cut, despite the ANC telling them that we do not believe in cutting. We do not believe in cutting. We do not believe in cutting. But these people, they submit proposals to the ANC and say, ANC, this is what you should cut. Cyril Ramaphosa told them that the National Treasury said that no, there's no alternative. This VAT hike, it has to go through. There's absolutely no alternative. And these people are going on national television and saying that, guys, they are alternatives. They are alternatives. And the ANC is listening to us. The ANC is listening to us. That's why I'm saying that this VAT hike actually exposed that some of these people are not as intelligent as the people thought. Because right now, even Zibi is coming clean. Zibi is coming clean. This is a guy who actually supported that narrative of ActionSA and Build One South Africa that in 30 days, the ANC finance minister is going to come back with a revised budget. But right now, he's saying that scrapping the VAT hike by the 1st of May, it is not practically feasible. This is what Zibi says. This is the leader of Rise Mzansi. This is one of the people that actually voted for your lives to actually get difficult. This guy actually helped the ANC to get the fiscal framework over the line. They helped the ANC to punish you instead of these people looking into the government and saying that, guys, we are wasting a lot of money. There is a lot of corruption. We need to fix what is happening inside the government before we actually tax South Africans until they die. This guy is one of the people that actually assisted the ANC to pin you down and make you pay more. This is a guy that actually assisted the ANC to force you to subsidize corruption. And now that things are getting hot in the kitchen, he's coming out and saying that scrapping VAT hike by the 1st of May, it is not practically feasible. Isn't this what people said? For weeks, this is what people said. This is what people said. This is what people said. And now he's practically going against his friends who actually believed that by the 1st of May, there wouldn't be any VAT hikes. He's literally contradicting what his friends are saying. So we're going to look at a couple of paragraphs. It says that after weeks of uncertainty about whether the VAT hike will take effect on the 1st of May, Rise Mzansi's Songeso Zibi says it is more likely that VAT will be increased next month. It is more likely that VAT will be increased next month. Amid backlash against Finance Minister's Inogorongwana proposed 0.5 percentage VAT hike and the confusion over whether it will be implemented on the 1st of May, Rise Mzansi Songeso Zibi says scrapping the increase that date, it is not realistically possible. So can someone please call Herman Mashaba and Musa Maiman? Can someone please call these people? Zibi was speaking to the journalist on Wednesday evening in Johannesburg, where he revealed that the window for the process to amend the budget had lapsed as MPs are on a 2-week constituency period. Quote, it takes time to implement those decisions. Whoever tells the people that it can be switched on and off is really not being honest. It's like, that's why I'm saying that, guys, when you read this stuff about the VAT hikes, it's almost as if we are dealing with the children, man. It's almost as if we are dealing with the kids. It's almost as if you are dealing with the kids. Just listen to this guy and what he says. He says that it takes time to implement those decisions. Whoever tells the people that it can be switched on and off is really not being honest. It's really more than likely that there will be VAT next month. And my view is that the window closed yesterday, said Zibi, who is also the chair of Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts. So Songeso Zibi is coming out to say that, guys, yeah, I voted for that VAT hike and I knew that it was going to be impossible to actually reverse this VAT hike in 30 days. But I actually voted to actually pin you down. I voted to pin you down. And this is how these people actually change for the people whenever they get into governance. You remember Rise Mzansi, their slogan was that we need a new government. This is what these people were talking about. I remember I also did an interview with one of the top officials of Rise Mzansi. Just go down on my interviews. You will see that before the elections, I actually did an interview with one of the top officials of Rise Mzansi. And these people were talking about we need a new government because the government that we have today, it is not working for the people of this country. And the sooner we get rid of these people, the better. And right now, the same people that told South Africans that, they are actually helping the ANC to make things even more difficult for the people of this country. Help me make it make sense. Help me make it make sense, because honestly, it does not make any sense. It does not make any sense. So Musa Maimane yesterday, he was on that Tlemini Manyatela's show on SABC, and just listen to what he says.
Whatever the court finding were to be, it would have to give legal effect to something that Parliament itself has to do. It cannot be that court can effectively decide what the VAT rate must be in the country. The VAT rate is in fact governed by the VAT Act, which in essence empowers the minister to be able to make a pronouncement on what the VAT rate is. And I'm very conscious of the fact that if it gives him the same power to pronounce, it also gives them the same power to decide when its implementation is, whether it can be withdrawn or not. And we think that is one component of the issue that still needs to be tested. So I suspect in this instance, given the fact that we've had political engagements, we've had processes in Parliament that seek to say, here is what the expenditure cuts can look like in order to ameliorate the need for VAT.
The ANC told you that they do not believe in the expenditure cuts. Musa Maimane, come on, man, wake up. Musime Mane needs to wake up. The ANC told them that they do not believe in the expenditure cuts. The president literally told you that he does not believe in cutting. That's why I'm saying that these people are refusing to listen to what the ANC is saying. The ANC is telling them what they are going to do. The ANC is telling them their values, but they are refusing to listen to the ANC despite voting for the ANC.
I think it would be going against the political consensus that we've taken. It would be going against the resolution that has been communicated by the people of South Africa. For instance,
so Musime Mane wants you to believe that the political consensus that they had with the ANC is that we do not believe in the 0.5 VAT hikes. Then why did you vote for it? Why did you vote for it? There is no political consensus. You and the ANC are on two opposing sides. The ANC believes in actually raising the VAT hikes. You guys are claiming that you do not believe in raising the VAT hikes, but you go into parliament and actually vote for the VAT hikes and come back to the people and go on national television and say that no, we remain opposed to the VAT increases. You and ANC are on two opposing sides, and the sooner you realize that, the better. The sooner you realize that you are not on the same side with the ANC. You are not with the same side with the ANC. There is no political consensus here. That's why the ANC lied to you guys and say that we are planning to withdraw the plan to raise the VAT by 0.5 percentage point. And just when you guys were celebrating, they came back. The ANC, the same ANC that you guys are saying that there is a political consensus, they came back and say that we see no alternatives to the VAT increase. So you and the ANC are on two opposing sides. Do not act like you guys are on the same team. You guys are not on the same team. You are not on the same team. You were just duped into believing that you were in the same team with the ANC. You are not in the same team. You absolutely not.
Certainly in all public hearings that I've been a part of as the Appropriations Committee, there's been wide rejection of VAT. And the third aspect is the parliamentary procedure.
Then why did you vote for it? Why did you help the ANC to get that fiscal framework over the line? Why did you vote for it?
Process as expressed in the Money Bills and Related Matters Acts, which says that Parliament can reject, amend, and therefore, if that is the case, I would urge the Minister and urge certainly in this process to say, in the spirit of collaboration, we need to see the most legally binding manner that says, given that you've got the power to table a VAT increase, you must equally so have the power through legislation to withdraw it. And that's the work that's happening now. We have a follow-up meeting.
I mean, guys, why would the ANC fight so hard to actually get this fiscal framework over the line? Why would the ANC go out of the GNU to get the political parties to support them, to get the fiscal framework over the line, and actually, in 30 days, come back and reverse that fiscal framework? Because if the ANC didn't believe in the VAT hikes, then they would have agreed with the DA a long time ago. But they fought with the DA. They fought to the DA to an extent where they went out of the government of national unity to get the support from the political parties that are not even in government. That's how much the ANC believes in the VAT increases. Then the question is, why would these people do all of that when they don't believe in the VAT increase? Why would they fight so hard for the VAT increase if they do not believe in it? Does it make any sense?
Certainly happening next week with all the respective parties, not as a party in the GNU, as a party outside of that, but to engage the ANC further to say, I had an engagement with you. We met with Treasury to table our proposals. The Appropriations Committee will meet on Tuesday to consider
Musime Mane, your proposals are not even worth the paper they are written on. And that's the thing. I don't think even the ANC even read those proposals. We told you that the ANC is going to teach you a hard lesson. We told you that the ANC is going to teach you a hard lesson. You guys are behaving like disobedient children. And disobedient children, every now and then, they need a whipping. And we told you that this is exactly what the ANC is going to do to you. So by the 1st of May, when this whole thing goes through, it's done with your political parties. It's done. It's done. The ANC has managed to kill two birds with one stone, to push for the VAT hikes and to kill these political parties. They've actually managed to do that.
Report on the expenditure cuts, given all this supplementary evidence, it would make no sense to continue with an increase of VAT, regardless of whether the businesses themselves have already started to communicate to their clients, because planning in today's society is fairly flexible, given that even when the repo rate changes, businesses adjust their planning accordingly. Banks notify us almost immediately once the repo rate is set. This would not be anything too onerous on the business community to be able to adjust that VAT.
Yeah. So Muslim can say whatever that he wants to say. Muslim can scream all he wants. He can say whatever that he wants to say. But this is the truth.
Bring it closer to home now, and there's been a lot of rhetoric by some political parties that VAT will in fact not increase come the 1st of May. But that's not true. According to the law, and households should brace themselves for higher bills. Professor Yanni Rousseau from the Wits Business School joins us for more. A very good evening, Prof, and thank you for joining us in studio. Maybe just for our viewers to understand, why is it that political parties like ActionSA, as we've seen, cannot say that they negotiated with the parties of the GNU that a VAT increase will not come into effect on the 1st of May?
Good evening, and good evening to the viewers. Well, at this point in time, it seems to me that the debate has moved beyond the VAT increase or not. It is really about the future of the government of national unity. So this is a situation where different political parties position themselves in different ways should there be a break between the current members of the Government of National Unity. So that is, in my view, a bit of shadow boxing about the bigger issue at the moment.
And let's talk about that bigger issue at the moment and what that does for sentiment, because we've seen that businesses really applauded, after the election. We saw the Government of National Unity being formed, and that boosted consumer business sentiment in terms of, say, things are going to get a little bit better. What risks are we facing now?
Well, we face the risk of continued uncertainty. At the moment, we have the problem of uncertainty in South Africa around VAT, the shadow boxing, and the Government of National Unity. And internationally, we have the uncertainty around tariffs in the US. So it is a very uncertain market for South African businesses. Unfortunately, with the 1st of May, the deadline for VAT increase approaching, businesses had to position themselves and had to start informing customers. Now, my back-of-envelope calculation, a bit unscientific, I should admit, is that the cost to South African businesses of preparing for VAT increase is around R1 billion. So the businesses already...
It all began with a cry.
Let me not play this advert, man. Let me not play this advert. So Zibi is already trying to get himself out of their hot mess, saying, no guys, it is not practically feasible, man. It is not practically feasible. But you listen to Musime, he still believes that it can be reversed. He still believes that it can be reversed. Oh man. Musime still believes that the VAT hikes can be reversed. It tells you everything that you need to know about Muslim Mane. And man, I cannot believe that I'm one of the people that actually believed in Muslim Mane. I believed in Muslim Mane so much. But he's such a disappointment, man. I will never listen to anything Muslim Mane says.
Rands in preparing for that might not happen. And then, if it does not happen, they will have to undo some of the steps they've taken. So the government in South Africa and the political parties in South Africa are really letting down South African business at this point in time. How on earth should businesses plan if there are uncertainty about something as important as a VAT increase on the 1st of May, about 2 weeks from now? How do we expect businesses to invest in an environment where even a VAT increase is not certain? So the government is really not supporting business in South Africa to invest for higher growth to create jobs for South Africans.
Why would the government do that? Because the government of this country actually enjoys what is happening in the country right now. I keep biting myself, man. The government of this country actually enjoys what is happening in the country right now. And the reason for that is because they want more people to depend on the government. So why would they actually push for the policies that are pro-business? Why would they actually push for things that are going to ensure the businesses thrive in this country so that people can find jobs? This is not the plan of the ANC. The plan of the ANC is to get as many people as possible depending on the government so that they can continue to rule over these people. It is not their plan to actually get the economy booming. It is not their plan to get the economy booming. It is absolutely not their plan. Because nobody can sit here and tell me that the ANC doesn't know what needs to be done to improve the economy. They know exactly what needs to be done to improve the economy. But the thing is that once they do what needs to be done to improve the economy, they know that many people are not going to depend on them anymore. And the sooner the people get out of the government system, they start seeing the government for exactly what it is. Even these people that are getting the 370s or 350s from the government, as soon as these people find jobs, they start to see the government for exactly what it is. And this is not something that the ANC can actually afford. So they need as many people as possible to depend on the government and their social grants. You remember that the ANC was celebrating that over 20 million people in this country are depending on the social grants. Over 20 million people in this country are depending on social grants. So they know that as long as we got the hold on these people, as long as the people look at the ANC as a political party that is giving them free money, the ANC will continue to rule until Jesus Christ comes back. So the ANC doesn't care about improve. They know exactly what needs to be done. They know.
And the other side of the coin, Prof, is that the spending habits of consumers have also changed. I know the minister penciled in about 28 billion rand that he might get from this increase. But do you foresee that happening given the struggles of South African consumers and they do go for more cheaper zero-rated items that are available to them?
Yeah, of course, with a VAT increase, there will be price changes, and that changes behavior because people respond to incentives. So people will change their behavior on the one hand. We also have to remember that the VAT increase will increase the rate of inflation.
Yeah.
I was at the Monetary Policy Forum of the Reserve Bank last night, and the Reserve Bank's calculations roughly shows that a 50 basis point increase in VAT will increase the rate of inflation by about 20 basis points, 0.2 of a percentage point. So there are also inflationary knock-on that will also have a negative impact on South African consumers. So at this point in time, we have a mess where all political parties are now denying that they ever supported the VAT increase. I have no idea where we are going with this, and at the same time, there's a court application to interdict a VAT increase, and it's not clear to me whether courts in South Africa have the power to interdict tax increases. We are in uncharted territory in respect of the court application. I do not want to predict in any way. I'm not a lawyer. As far as I can see, it's the first time that the court has been approached to interdict a tax increase in South Africa. So this is a very, very difficult environment for businesses and for households, and therefore I see lower economic growth than would otherwise have been the case.
Yeah, and how dangerous is this, Prof, given the fact that all of this uncertainty that that we are experiencing domestically doesn't allow us to prepare adequately for the global shocks that we have seen? It makes us a little bit more vulnerable to those global shocks, and then couple them with the domestic issues, our situation just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, you're quite right. It's as if everybody had forgotten in South Africa that our big challenge is to get the economy growing, to create jobs, and to deal with our very serious unemployment problem. We are busy with shadow boxing around a VAT increase. The big question in South Africa is how to get more rapid economic growth, how to get unemployed people in jobs. And it's as if we'd completely forgotten that debate.
I'm glad you brought up the monetary policy review that was held yesterday evening, because the governor was really concerned about the level of growth in South Africa. And so given the contraction that's now been predicted by the SARB, what do you think are the low-hanging fruits that we could maybe reach for to perhaps try and turn the tide around?
Yeah, indeed, we should immediately go for low-hanging fruit. Please, with the VAT increase in doubt, we should also go for low-hanging fruit in terms of cutting government expenditure. Get rid of the deputy ministers. I've never understood what the deputy minister should do. Just
Ramaphosa said he's not going to do that. Ramaphosa said he's not going to do that. And this thing being said by the people in the business, you remember the ANC said that the business cannot dictate how the government functions. So it looks like the ANC right now, they even want to fight with the business. They say no, even these people that are suggesting that we need to get rid of the deputy ministers, it is pointless. The president of the country said he's not going to do that. He said he's not going to do that, and he was very explicit about this.
get rid of them. I mean, there are 43 of them. I don't know why we need them. Reduce the cabinet. It will save a fortune. So in terms of government expenditure, go for low-hanging fruits. Reduce the size of President Ramaphosa's motorcade. Why must they have...
Why is that so, Prof? Because there have been calls for this for years now.
It's because politicians like their toys. They are like kids. They want to...
Yeah, politicians, they like to feel important, man. They like to feel important. There's no need, man, for these people to ride around in like, what, 10 or 15 cars. What's the point? What's the point? You look at people like Paul Mashatile. Remember, Paul Mashatile was even the convoy of Paul Mashatile. Whenever it's on the highway, they are driving wherever they want. They don't care that it's an incoming traffic. You guys have to go on the side. You guys have to go on the side. The dictator of this country wants to ride on this lane, and there's nothing that you guys can do. This is what Paul Mashatile does. And he knows that if you dare say anything, his security guys are going to deal with you on the road. Just like they dealt with those guys. These people, they like to feel important at the expense of the people of this country. Like the ANC, I don't understand why is it so hard for these people to just cut. But Fikile told us, and you know, sometimes they say when somebody tells you who they are, you need to believe them. Fikile said that they don't believe in cutting, and you look at the history of the ANC, and you can see that the ANC does not believe in cutting. They don't believe in cutting.
Play with their toys and they use it to intimidate South Africans. The presidential motorcade's only function is to intimidate you and me on South Africa's roads. It is a disgrace how they behave on our roads. The ministerial motorcades, how they behave on our roads, and then they call for road safety without setting any example. I mean, there's a total disconnect. This is our government, but they're completely disconnected from us. Going for economic growth, go for the low-hanging fruit, go for bigger deregulation. But there's no political will at this point in time to get South Africa out of this difficulty.
And how important will it be to see the infrastructure rolled out almost immediately? You've seen what's happening to the steel sector and the desperate calls for work in South Africa given the low global demand. How important will that component be?
That's very important. Sort out the infrastructure. Fix our roads. These are easy things to do. Fix the railroads. Get the trains running again. These are easy things to do that will stimulate economic activity. Oh, my other pet hobby is sort out municipalities. If nothing else, just clean our towns. Our president was shocked when he recently realized that Johannesburg is in a state of disrepair. I've no idea where he lived the last 15 years. The city has been in a state of disrepair for the last 15 years. They only noticed it 2 weeks ago. Perhaps he should buy a newspaper and start reading it, or watch TV or something, so that President Ramaphosa can know what's going on in the country. I mean, all of us can tell him.
Yeah, no, thank
Ramaphosa is always shocked, man. Ramaphosa is always shocked. I remember right now, He went to the Eastern Cape and he was shocked at how things are in the Eastern Cape. That no, man, how can you guys allow the children to cross the rivers to go to the school, man? Just look at the infrastructure of the Eastern Cape, man. Things are a mess in the Eastern Cape. We are shocked as the government. Ramaphosa is always shocked. He's always shocked by the things that are acknowledged to everybody in the country. Everybody knows how things are in this country. But when Ramaphosa visits somewhere, he's shocked that no, things are so bad. Things are so bad. Just imagine in Johannesburg, Cyril Ramaphosa was shocked at how bad Johannesburg is. He was shocked at how bad Johannesburg has actually turned. I've never seen a president that is so out of touch with the people of this country. Like this guy is totally out of touch. Totally out of touch. Always shocked at something. Always shocked. This is the president that we have. So guys, the ANC lied. They fell for it. Right now, the ANC says that the 0.5 VAT increase is going through on the 1st of May. I don't know. Please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part, guys, please subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.